All right, let's go over rule number 2 for commas. This one is commas to join items in a series, and this is one that I think most students have mastered, and it's just a quick reminder in this case. So when a series of 3 or more words, phrases, or clauses is connected with and or, place a comma after each item except the last one. And I recommend putting the comma before the and or the or, because there are instances where you might have a complicated list and the comma not being there can change the entire meaning of it. So let's look at a couple of examples. Iguanas, chameleons, and salamanders were Ted's passion when he was 7. So there's a list of 3 types of reptiles, and there's a comma after iguanas, a comma after chameleons, and then you've got salamanders listed. Motorcycles, comma, off-road vehicles, comma, and cars are his passion at 17. And one thing that you do want to remember with this particular rule, and I can go over it more in class, is that you want parallel structure when you're listing things. So notice that up above, they're all chameleons. They're all reptiles. In this one, they're different types of vehicles. So there's a parallel structure, like things are being mentioned. The dog had tracked mud across the porch, comma, into the kitchen, comma, and up the stairs. In this case, we have 3 phrases, and they're prepositional phrases, across, into, and up. And here's my final example. The doctor asked Neville if the pain occurred before he ate, comma, after he ate, comma, or while he ate. So remember, when you start listing 3 or more things in a sentence, you need a comma after each one, including the one just before the or the and. So go ahead and get your worksheet and work on practice number 2 and see how you do. This is a good time to pause the video while you do this. All right, let's see how you did. Mycology is the study of yeast, molds, mushrooms, and other fungi. So hopefully you noticed that it was a list of 4 items, and so you should have a comma after yeasts, after molds, and after mushrooms. The ancient Maya restricted the consumption of cocoa to the aristocracy because of the cost of growing the beans and the labor involved in processing them. Now with this sentence, it is actually correct. And the reason is there's only 2 things being listed, not 3. It's the cost and the labor. So just because you have a long sentence with a lot of words doesn't mean it needs a comma. It has to have one of the rules applied to it. The dog looked as if he had been dipped in water, coated with dirt, and set out to dry. So in this sentence, there are 3 things, and you should have a comma after water and after dirt. Number 4. The children watched in fascination as the magician reached into his hat, pulled out a dove, and released it into the air. And this one, again, is listing 3 items. So you want to have it after hat and after dove. And finally, number 5. Students screamed as the lights flickered, the alarm sounded, and the elevator jerked to a halt. So again, 3 things are being listed, and you want to have a comma after flickered and sounded. Now, you notice that most of the examples I've been working with just has 3 items. And one of the things you want to remember is you can have longer lists in your sentence, but depending on the type of writing you're doing, there might be times where the list is long enough that bulleted points might be better than having a long list separated by commas.